Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I'm Sam Allman.
Dang it, I'm Bernard Mon, but that's better.
That was my Twitch stream back in the day when I was doing it, as I just capitalized the last three letters of my name.
Nice.
And I'm Trish. I'm the token girl of this group. My Digimon will evolve into some hot lady at some point.
Nice.
This week, we're starting our coverage of Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, playing to the end of Chapter 1. But before we get started, I make $80,000+ a year. Woo-hoo! Finally, I can say it. It's official.
I'm so secretive. I can't believe you would just announce your salary.
Yeah,
No, Bernard.
Obfuscated it a little.
Workers need to talk about our salaries. Anyone who tries to fire you for talking about your salary is breaking the fucking law. Crush them under the union's heel.
I mean, not with your colleagues and coworkers
silly.
And stuff.
I just don't have any colleagues. I'm the only person in my department, so I have to tell somebody. But yeah, I'm living large. Tomorrow is my birthday, and for a birthday present, HR gave me a I believe it's 11% raise. So
Jeez.
that's real good.
Oh, that's funny. It's my wife's wife, aka my girlfriend, aka Emma's girlfriend. It's her birthday on Saturday.
Oh, nice.
She has Pi Day. You just have the Pi Day Eve.
Yeah. I just get Friday the 13th like every 5 or 7 years or whatever it works out to.
Oh, tomorrow is Friday the 13th, isn't it?
Oh, that's neat.
But other than that, I played Phase 10 with the homies this week, and it was nice.
Oh my god, Phase 10! I haven't played it in so long!
I was going to ask what Phase 10 is, but then I realized that might be dangerous because I might have to hear about the rules of a board game. I don't know if it is a board game, but it sounds like it might be.
Not a board game! Card game!
It's a specific kind of rummy card game. You don't need to know the ins and outs unless you're playing. But
it's very fun. That's actually funny. I played, so I go to a trans group every so often, a local like trans support group, and we last time I went, we played a game that I've played a bunch of times with my family, Telestrations. I don't know if you've either of you ever. Oh, you have? Okay, yeah. It's literally just telephone, but it's with drawing.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like one person writes a word, passes their easel to the next person. They have to draw something. It goes to the next person. They don't get to see the initial word. They have to guess what the word is, and then the next person draws something off of that, etc., etc. And you see how far people can get from the original. It was just delightfully fun.
That sounds like a great time.
It is.
It does sound like a great time.
One of them, I ended up getting one where the word was like Pokemon battle, and I drew like a Magnemite and a Diglett and like the little circle of ground under them from like the Gen 3 games, and then their health bars, and I handed it off to like the therapist who was running the group, and she did not know what that was.
One time when I was working at Blizzard, we were playing Telestrations like officially sanctioned while we were working, just passing everything around. And when it got to me, the person told me that it was a Sandiramon, which A, I knew what that was. B, I know that no one else knew what that was. So I knew that we had lost at that point, because there's no way in hell that the person prior to him had drawn a Sandiramon. But it's a snake with a turtle hat.
Nice.
Yeah, and so I remember it vividly of getting a piece of paper like Sandiramon. Like, why is this your clue? But here you go. Here's the snake with the turtle hat.
Oh, it's one of the 4 holy beasts.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this week, I wanna I'm gonna gripe. I would say I'm gonna kvetch, but my wife might be becoming Jewish, but I'm not, so I'm just gonna gripe. So we're recording. My gentle listeners, we're recording right after I got off work, but not right, but very, very close. And I got out of work 10 minutes late, basically, because a confluence of things, but the biggest thing being we had 2 programs going on. Someone was giving a presentation for which 3 people showed up, which I felt really bad for her, but also it was kind of a very niche thing, and I'm not surprised more than 3 people didn't show up. Downstairs, a lot more people were downstairs because there was a program going on. Namely, a local group was helping people do their taxes for free, which is great. Love that. Both things went right up until we closed, which is not how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to finish at least like 15 minutes, hopefully half an hour before we close. Because, we have to make sure you're all out of the fucking building. We have to, in the case of the event upstairs, we have to get the reading room back put together and rearrange chairs and everything before we leave, because we're not paid.
Was the presentation with 3 attendees just having a popping off with a Q&A session?
No, the lady just kept going. So those things happen, and then we get everyone out of the building. Like, okay, we're good. And then I'm like, wait, one of the bathrooms is closed. Like, to make sure everyone's gone, one of the things we do is we go to all the bathroom doors, and we open them, we put the door stop down. One of them's closed. I check it, it's locked. I knock on the door, no response. I knock louder, no response. I'm like, excuse me, we're closing, no response. And I'm like, fuck. Because here's the thing, we could just say, I was like, we should just put I was very tempted to be like, we should just put an out of order sign on it. And just leave. But there's like a 1% chance that there's someone in there unconscious or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which would suck. Thing is, our keys don't open this door. None of them. The way you have to open it is you have to get a thin, apparently we are supposed to have a letter opener for this, and no one can find it. So we had to use scissors. And you have to, jimmy the lock.
That sounds very safe.
Yeah, exactly. So we do that. There was no one in there. Someone just closed the door when they were done in the bathroom and locked it as they closed it. Because it's one of the lock on it is one of those, you just push in the little thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that was infuriating. It's just, I had a good shift. I had a nice time. I love my job, but sometimes I'm just like, you motherfuckers, get out.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
That's
unlike
customer-facing jobs.
Well, here's the other thing. I didn't used to mind, because at other jobs, we had a punch in, punch out. So if we're late closing, I get overtime. We don't have that here. We are paid for what we're scheduled. Period.
Rough. It's like salary, but without any of the benefits of being salary.
Yeah, exactly.
They somehow found a loophole that's worse for you than salary is.
Yeah. Yep. It's usually not an issue, because usually we're out of there maybe 2 minutes late. Who gives a shit? But in this case, we also used to, if we're opening, we used to show up 10 to 15 minutes at least early to get everything ready, which was unpaid.
Mm-hmm.
Which we no longer do. Now, if you're the person who's opening, you are scheduled 15 minutes before the library opens, which I'm glad, because I mean to get paid for that shit. Anyway, Bernard, what have you been up to?
So, let's see. This was yesterday. Yesterday, I get a text from my boss saying, "Hey, can I give you a call sometime today just to have a favor to ask you?" I'm like, okay, is he going to ask me to go to the warehouse and pick something up? Or, I assume it's going to be something simple. And he calls me and he says, "Could you go to California to help with the launch of a new site?" And I'm like, maybe? Says, "Yeah, we'll fly out on Sunday. You'll be there for a few days." And it turns out it's going to be the whole week. But yeah, I said yes because I am just incapable of not trying to be the best employee possible. And I said yes, and I'm kind of worried about a lot of aspects of it, but we'll see how it goes. It's going to disrupt our recording schedule, but we're figuring it out. And I just got to keep talking because both Sam and Trish are muted. So I also started a...
I have been talking. I forgot to unmute after my alarm went off.
I was eating sunflower seeds. Please continue, Bernard.
So I started a Pokemon Leaf Green Nuzlocke, and let me tell you, it's going rough. I had the amazing good fortune to catch a Pikachu in Viridian Forest. The Pikachu died to a Rattata before I could get to Misty and use its awesome lightning skills.
No!
And now I am at the Celadon Gym, which is the grass-type gym led by Erica. And here's the thing. I have, at this point, two Pokemon that are really big and strong, a Wartortle and a Sandslash. You might notice both of those are weak to grass.
Now that you mention it,
Yep.
that does seem to be the case.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'm gonna get past Erica. We'll see.
Are you completely out of routes to go and try and catch something?
I mean, there's not a whole ton to catch in Kanto.
I mean, yeah, but could hopefully found something that's at least not weak to it.
I do have a Vulpix, but I can't get a fucking fire move on it, and I was all set to use my Pidgeotto Tombstone on. What's the name of the Pidgeotto? I was all set to use Tombstone at the gym and kick a bunch of ass that way with flying type moves. But I decided to go to the Team Rocket hideout in Celadon first so that I could train up. And there was a coughing that used self-destruct.
Fuck.
No.
So now Tombstone is dead.
Damn.
And Subaru the Pikachu is dead. And I have lots of dead Pokemon named after pizzas.
One of the things about Gen 1, a lot of Gen 1 Pokemon, they don't learn moves of their own type so often. And it's so annoying. And it's like, why do I have you then? Why are you here? Why are you even that type?
Yeah, I was checking. I think Vulpix, if I don't evolve it, will learn, I forget which one. Maybe it was Flamethrower at level 29. But that would take a lot of grinding to get that Vulpix up to level 29. And I have a Spearow that I'm using as a replacement for Tombstone. But the Spearow was really low level, so I'm having to train it up.
Rough.
Yeah, it's not going well.
I attempted a Nuzlocke one time, and it was in one of the Gen 6 ones. And I'm walking up the beach, and I get a trainer comes up, and it's the tutorial battle for the ones where you fight in the air.
Oh no.
And I had jack shit that could do anything there, and so I got a full party kill because of a tutorial. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck Nuzlocks. they're not all they're cracked up to be. I'm sure they would be fine in other things, but that one, it hurts so bad.
I enjoyed Nuzlocks. I did at one point complete a Pokemon Red Nuzlocke, which I don't even know how I did that. That game's hard and weird and bad and very good.
Once on the 3DS eShop, I completed a Pokemon Nuzlocke, and I on that hardware, I did the Mew glitch, which you can do on a Nuzlocke. You don't get any other Pokemon and sell it or in Cerulean City, unless you surf in that one specific area on the way to the cave. But why would you?
Do you have to catch missing note because there are no other Pokemon on that
That's true.
island?
You don't have to, but you can, and it'd be fun. Well, no, okay. You've activated my secret nerd card. You don't know it'll be missing note because depending what arrives on that island coast is entirely based on what you named your character. And so, yes, Missing No could be there. Apostrophe M could also be there. But also, like a level 230 Mewtwo could be there. You don't know unless you look it up based on what you name your character. It's weird and silly, and I love it for that. I mean, if you have your Master Ball on hand and you get to like a level 200 Mewtwo, you're fucking set for life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to know what the catch rate is on a level 200 something Mewtwo.
I caught a Drowsy who I named Hut, and I was so excited for Hut because, psychic types way OP in Kanto. So it's level 13. So I put it at the front of the party because, I don't have experience share in this old ass game. So I can switch it out and get it experience that way. So I go into the nearby Diglett cave because I need to go through it anyway, and there are high level Pokemon there for it to not fight but to see and then get switched out. Turns out the Diglett there all have arena trap.
No.
Which prevents you from switching out or escaping.
No.
So
no.
My level 13 Drowsy is immediately fighting a level, I think it was 18 Diglett, and can't switch out or escape, and he die.
I will say it could have been worse. That title I need to double check in Fire Red. I'm pretty sure that place can spawn level like 30 Dugtrio. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is the case. Like, there's a very small chance of a very powerful Dugtrio.
Also, the kind of thing I know because I was really into Pokemon ROM hacking back in the day. Diglett Cave, because of the like all maps need to be rectangles, but Diglett Cave goes from like top left to bottom right. There's all this extra space on the map, and they don't do nothing with it. This is something you could never see unless you're doing a walkthrough walls or you look at the game's code. But I'm gonna post in the host chat. Like, this is what they like. There are all these actual looks like tunnels going through the rock.
Oh,
and it's like that's so cool, and no one knows unless they're a weird freak like me.
Neat
Indeed.
That reminds me of how in our upcoming maybe video game, Sam has insisted on putting a joke in the code that only exists in the code and cannot be perceived in the game.
So good. There's a way I can make it perceived if it goes to Steam, and I can use some Steam features to make the joke work. But I wrote the joke, or not wrote the joke. I preserved the joke that Maddie wrote way before we had any intention of putting this on Steam. So it is serendipitous. It is not an excuse.
Also, I did just double check. Yeah, there's a 5% chance to run to a Dugtrio in Diglett Cave, and they can be as high as level 31, which just feels so mean.
Goodness.
Yeah.
And they're also really fast, so they're gonna get you.
Good luck. But yeah, I was going to say something else about Pokemon, but I forgot what it was. So instead, I'll just be a hipster and talk about Digimon instead. Every time we start a new game, 2 or 3 days before we start recording, Bernard asks me, "Did you remember to write the history section?" And I love how this time he did not ask that. He absolutely knows that I will go off about Digimon for any reason whatsoever. So, back in the 90s, Bandai and Wiz created the Tamagotchi, and it took the world by storm. It was a toy where you hatched and raised weird little freaks, and you watched them poop. They were more popular with young girls than they were with young boys and older women, so Bandai and Wiz developed a boys' version, called it Digimon, short for Digital Monsters. Notably, none of the gameplay was changed, but it added battling because boys like to fight things. Otherwise, everything you think of for Tamagotchi is there in the original Digimon. So instead of watching little freaky dudes poop, you watch little freaky dinosaurs poop. And it is because of this incredibly different version of monster raising as compared to the released at the same time, so neither is a copy of the other, Pokemon Pocket Monsters. It has, to put it lightly, a very weird history of video games. The first video game, Digimon World, before I go much farther, there are a lot of times throughout this entire 2-game duology where I will say things like the first Digimon game, Digimon World, and I can know that there are people going to be like, well, what about the Sega Saturn game? And like, we don't have to like break Bernard's brain by going into all of the shit that Digimon is. It is okay for the layman version of Digimon.
More like the lame version of Digimon.
Oh!
So the first game, Digimon World, it tries to staple Tamagotchi gameplay onto a JRPG, and the result is weird, but cool as hell. The second game, they made a vehicle-based mystery dungeon game. Obviously, that's how you follow up your Tamagotchi JRPG. Then the third one was in more of a traditional monster-catching JRPG, and this style of game was very well regarded, very well received. So, skip a few years later, the DS was released, and Digimon returned to this format for their now, in the future, main series, Digimon Story. The first one was released in the West as Digimon World DS, but it's important to know that it's called Digimon Story because this is another case of the name the game on the Nintendo DS, something starting with D and starting with S naming scheme, and that's the name that stuck. So every Digimon Story game is named after the Nintendo DS. Digimon Story was followed up with Digimon Story Dawn and Dusk, and then the Japan-only Digimon Story Lost Evolution, and then a sort of anime tie-in Digimon Story Cross Wars Red and Blue, spelled XROS, of course. And then after that, they transitioned to the PlayStation Vita, where they released Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. And because JRPG enjoyers are the only ones who bought a Vita, Bandai decided to do a real cheap, quick and dirty localization of Cyber Sleuth and release a Digimon Story game in English for the first time in over 8 years. Kazumasa Habu, who headed the Digimon Games division since around Lost Evolution times, wanted Cyber Sleuth to be a soft reboot of the story games, and as a reboot, he wanted it to have at least as many Digimon in it as the original Digimon Story, which was a huge undertaking because the DS Digimon Story games were first person, like a Dragon Quest, but this time they wanted the player to be able to see their Digimon battle, and they also wanted it to be in high definition 3D graphics. So this game skipped several steps of graphical advances, but the developers that they brought on, MediaVision, the creators of the Wild Arms franchise, were up to the task. The higher-ups at MediaVision knew that I personally was desperate for a good Digimon game again, so they got Tetsuya Okubo to direct Cyber Sleuth. Okubo is the producer, director, or designer of basically all of my Weirdo Freak games that I've been trying to get people to play for years. He was involved in the creation of Wild Arms 1 through 5 and XF. He was involved in the creation of Trauma Center, Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor, that weird Wizard of Oz JRPG for DS where you move with an emulated trackball, Tales of Grace's F, Chaos Rings 1, 2, 3, and Omega. They then tapped Masafumi Takada to do the music, who is the composer behind Danganronpa, Killer 7, No More Heroes, and he worked on Smash 4 and Ultimate, as well as Kid Icarus Uprising. The games came out to critical acclaim, both in Japan and overseas, and were part of the Digimon 15th anniversary celebration, coinciding with Digimon Adventure Tri, the third anime in the Digimon Adventure timeline, and Digimon absolutely had the juice. So to tap into this juice, they remastered and re-released Digimon World Next Order, a much shittier game, and it completely derailed Digimon hype for almost another decade until Time Stranger came out in October. But we're not here to talk about Time Stranger, we're here to talk about Cyber Sleuth. So, let's. So you, the Digi-Curious, decide to buy the Digimon Double Pack for Steam and Switch that everyone is going on about. And when you turn it on, you're greeted with 23 seconds of absolute silence while the game cycles through its developers. And then a fucking jump scare ass noise while your system checks for system data. It is the most unpleasant sound. And the fact that it happens from silence always makes me jump when I open the game.
Yeah.
At the main menu, you choose New Game, and then the game tries weirdly hard to make you play the second one first. Like, the box art for the complete edition has Hacker's Memory on top, and then every time it's listed in game, Hacker's Memory is on the left, and Cyber Sleuth is on the right, and I don't fucking get it. It's super weird.
Very odd.
You are introduced to the world of Cyber Sleuth by the Jay and Silent Bob of the Digimon Games universe, Mireille Mikagura. That is if Jay and Silent Bob were a single hot anime MILF lady.
I love her.
For this, my Star Ocean weirdos in the audience, she's Digimon's Welch Vineyard. Mireille was a mysterious character in Digimon World Redigitize who spoke in mysterious knowing riddles and had two partner Digimon despite it being very important to that world's lore that each Digidestin only had one partner. Her partners are an Angelwomon and a Lady Devimon. They're a visual representation of both light and dark, leading the player to not know if she's trustworthy or not. That game was made on a very shoestring budget. They weren't fully able to flesh out her character and her fate at the end of the game, and then when that game did really well and they remade it for the 3DS, they decided to not clarify it because everyone liked that she was mysterious. So they just leaned into that mystery and had her continue to break the rules of the digital world by showing up as the canonically same character in multiple Digimon universes across every Digimon game almost since then, which has never happened before or since. Again, asterisk, I know about Rio
I
and
was
Digimon
literally
Tamers.
holding
We're
my
not going
fucking
there.
tongue. I'm sitting there on the actually couch, reaching towards my buzzer.
Like I said, I'm trying to not overwhelm Bernard because this is 5 paragraphs on the opening frame of the video game. So cut me a break. I can decide when to cut things off. I only bring up Mirai's backstory because she's a crucial part of this game and Time Stranger, and because no, they do not explain her deal, and they never will.
Cool.
I mean, she's mysterious.
That's her deal. She's just mysterious. She asks you which game you would like to play, and the UI really wants you to play Hacker's Memory first, but it honestly cannot be played first. It is very connected to and responding to the events of the first game. So we ignore all of that, and we start up Cyber Sleuth proper. The game starts with a cute take on a chat room, with us looking in on a conversation between Akino, a cute pink ghosty avatar, Blue Box, a grumpy boy, emo boy avatar in a gray sweater, and Aiba, an avatar seemingly afflicted by a mild version of the voiceless protagonist disease, as well as a bunch of other characters who are not appearing in this game.
Have you ever seen Summer Wars?
Yeah. I love that Hosoda had nothing to do with this game, because Hosoda has made Summer Wars 3 times now, and they're like, let's make Summer Wars the video game. So there are 4 Summer Warses now.
And it's good.
Funny. It's very good. Akino asks the group if they've heard of Digimon, the dangerous programs used by hackers to break through security and steal data, and the ones that were probably behind all of the incidents that have been happening. A member of Team not appearing in this game says that he heard that Digimon can roam around on their own, because even though they're just programs, they have their own monstrous digital avatars. Wait, digital monsters? That's what Digimon is short for. Just then, a mysterious account logs into the chat room. This chat room is password protected, so this is pretty alarming. The hacking is depicted as Mr. Navit's avatar physically sawing his way through the floor, which is very cool. Mr. Navit is the mascot for Eden, this game's version of what if the metaverse was cool, actually. But this user says that they are actually a hacker, and everyone should log into Eden tomorrow, or else he'll hack them. Mr. Navit leaves, and Team not appearing in this game are very concerned, but Akino says this is obviously just some viral marketing, and it could be fun, and invites the group to meet her in Eden tomorrow. Team not appearing in this game all scram, but Blue Box and Aiba both promise to show up. The next day, we are greeted with the Eden login screen, where we find out that Aiba is actually a trans woman named, of course, Totina Freshetta.
Oh my god.
I'm skipping over a lot of stuff, unsurprisingly, but one name that keeps coming up during this opening is Kamashiro Enterprises. They're the company that run Eden. Their name is on the login screen, and it's name dropped several times in the opening FMV that explains that Eden is a metaverse. Totina arrives in the welcome area of Eden, where she was slated to meet with Akino and Blue Box, but they aren't there. So Totina heads to the community center, another open meetings place in Eden, to ask around for info on Akino and Blue Box. When she gets there, Mr. Navit contacts Totina in a video chat and says that she needs to come to Galacta Park in Kowloon, as her friends are already waiting on her. He doesn't give her the URL for Galacta Park, though, so we have to ask around to get it, tutorializing this game's titular sleuthing mechanic, which is an evolution of one of the weirdest stupid features in Wild Arms 3, where some characters will have words that you can pick up and then ask other characters more details about, which helps you uncover the mystery or whatever that you're trying to do. We eventually figure out the URL and head to Galacta Park, the opening area in Kowloon, a seedy area of Eden where hackers like to hang around. Kowloon in general and Galacta Park in specific used to be the main area of Eden in a previous update, but now all of its utility functions have been moved to the more modern Eden entrance, and this is just an unused empty area now. The FMV depicts Eden as a Coruscant-style planet city, and Kowloon is down on the ground floor, and all of the modern Eden areas are floating in the sky above it. Totina lands in Galacta Park, where she meets Akino's avatar, who immediately doxes herself as Nokia Shiramine to the stranger before complaining that Totina was late, leaving her all alone, instead of being actually mad at Blue Box, who was the actual one who left her alone, because he ran off to go look for the capital letters, Ghost of the Pale Boy. Nokia has heard about these rumors, but she thinks that ghosts in cyberspace are stupid and unscientific. Digimon Ghost Game, streaming now on BBC iPlayer. Blue Box shows up, and his Eden avatar is basically exactly his Enjoy Chat avatar in a gray hoodie with emo hair. Nokia doxes him as Arata Sonata, and he says that he didn't find the ghost of the Pale Boy, nor Mr. Navit, nor actually anyone, which is weird because this is the place where hackers usually hang out. Mr. Navit calls the group on video chat, and he says that he has something special for those of us who showed up, the miraculous power to change the world. The area around them glitches out, and a mysterious program is installed on their Digivices, which in most Digimon universes is a unique plot MacGuffin based on the IRL Digimon toys, signifying the Digidestined's importance to the plot, but in almost every video game it's just the JRPG camp menu. I don't have it here in my notes, but I was talking to an NPC, and the Digimon goggles that you're wearing are your Digivice. Because you meet a little kid who's like, oh, I'm going to get a cell phone Digivice. Wait, yours are those goggles? How cool. And that never comes up in game besides in that conversation. And I thought that's neat.
I love the idea that Digivice here is unconnected from Digimon as a concept. It is just, no, that's just how you're interfacing with this thing. It's called a Digivice. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's just the digital
device.
No, it's a digital vice. A digital thing that messes up your life.
A program gets installed on your Digivices called Digimon Capture, and it allows for the user to scan Digimon they run into in order to use them for hacking. Nokia doesn't want to be a hacker, and she tries to delete the app, but she can't. Then Totina notices someone watching their conversation in the distance. Arata thinks that this could be the ghost or Mr. Navit or somebody, and he chases after him deeper into Kowloon. Nokia says, hell no, fuck that, and tries to leave, but a firewall has been erected behind them, preventing them from logging out. This metaverse doesn't let you just close the app. You have to go to a physical logout node in order to turn the game off. So Nokia is stuck there. Totina runs after Arata, and soon she sees a ghost of a pale boy seemingly disappear into nothingness. Something glitches in Totina's avatar, and it brings her to her knees, and she almost loses consciousness. She sees the ghost get closer and closer to her before he lays his hand on her, and her Digivice says, Wingdings has been inscribed. It's it's the Digimon language that it shows up in all Digimon stuff, and there's no translation to it. It's just Wingdings. She comes to, and the ghost is gone. She is confused, but she chalks it up to just hackers being spooky, and she heads after Arata. But then an avatar that looks exactly like the ghost of the Pale Boy shows up, decidedly unghost-like. Totina asks him about the ghost, and he says that maybe the ghost was him, since some people say he's the Wraith of Eden, and that he's not of this world. But he says that he's actually just a loner, and he tends to show up out of nowhere, but he's definitely not a ghost.
He sure says a lot about himself, considering that after meeting him, I have no idea who the fuck he is.
Truly.
He says that he likes to guide users who are new to hacking, like Totina, and now that she has Digimon Capture installed on her Digivice. He says that she is but a fledgling hacker, and it's up to her to decide if she's going to be a white hat hacker or a black hat hacker. He says that no matter her choice, she will need her own Digimon, and he's here to give her one. He points behind her, and we see the 3 starters for this game. Palmon, a data-type fan favorite from Digimon Adventure. Terriermon, a vaccine-type fan favorite from Digimon Tamers, and Hagurumon, a virus-type Digimon that also exists. Which one did you guys choose?
I was like, who's gonna choose the weird fucking mechanical thing? I picked Terriermon.
Yeah.
I want you to guess. Trish? I want you to guess. You know me.
Palmon.
Yeah, because Mimi's my girl. Are you joking?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Yeah. Back when I first played it, I chose Terriermon because he's one of my favorite Digimon of all time. But this time around, I have a special starter Digimon because of the challenge mod that I'm playing that I will go into in Mimmoms. The Ghastly Boy teaches Totina how to scan Digimon, but he says that converting it can't be done with a Digivice. So scan it now, and then we can convert it later so we can use it for hacking. But before we can scan our new buddy, a wild Kurisarimon attacks. It's Chrysalis, but you have to say it in katakana, and I hate it. But a Kurisarimon attacks, and he chases the 3 starters away. The Ghastly Boy is like, oh, well, damn, we'll just look around for another Digimon to be your starter. But Totina is concerned for the little fellas and wants to go protect them from the big meanie. Ghastly Boy says that it would be stupid for her to get hurt trying to protect mere programs, but Totina wants to run after them anyways, so Ghastly Boy humors her. Totina stands in between the mini Digimon and her chosen starter to protect it, and Ghastly Boy is like, you're so stupid, you are going to get hurt, and he calls out his partner, Machinedramon, a big ol' Mechagodzilla, to fight the Kurisarimon. And then Then, curiously, your starter steps forward to fight with Totina too. Ghastly Boy is like, that's weird that this program is acting like a creature, but I guess this is your partner now, and we fight the Kurisarimon in a tutorial fight.
Everyone has AI psychosis in this.
It's very true. After the fight, Ghastly Boy says that us having a natural Digimon partner is super weird, so we're likely to become a, in quotes, irregular element. Like, not my quotes, their quotes, irregular element amongst the rest of the hackers. Totina asks Ghastly Boy if he's seen Arata, and he says that Arata is over by the now defunct logout zone from back when this was Eden's main area. It's disabled and locked, but a hacker with Arata's skill should be able to activate it no problem. So we can log out, even though the firewall is preventing our access to the normal logout zone. Wait, Arata didn't say he was a hacker? Well, that's not Ghastly Boy's story to tell, so Totina will have to get that from Arata herself. Ghastly Boy realizes that I'm tired of writing Ghastly Boy in my notes, and he tells Totina that his name is Yugo from Team Zaxxon, which surely means something. He says if Totina wants to become a top-tier hacker, we should seek out Zaxxon, and leaves. Totina heads back to get Nokia so they can head to the logout zone, and finds Nokia being accosted by an Agumon and a Gabumon. Despite being scared initially, she quickly realizes that they are her bros, and therefore Digimon maybe aren't all bad. Totina approaches, which scares off Agumon and Gabumon, much to Nokia's dismay. Totina tells Nokia that Arata can help them log out from the old zone, and they head to the back of the park to meet them. On the way back, Nokia says that she's having serious deja vu, like she's met Totina and Arata somewhere before. Just then, there's another Eden glitch, and a flash of 5 children with familiar-looking hairstyles. Nokia sees it too, and is annoyed with all of the hacking going on, thinks nothing else about it, and says that they should hurry to see Arata. But as they leave, we see the ghost of the pale boy watching them from a distance. Nokia and Totina arrive at the logout zone, and Arata is already working on unlocking it. Nokia chews him out, but is cut short by another Eden glitch. This time, it's persistent, and from the glitch comes a fucked up Cthulhu Hellbeast. Arata says that this might be the black monster of Eden, and he hurries to unlock the gate so that we can log out safely. The Hellbeast approaches Nokia, but Agumon and Gabumon show up to protect her, and try as they might, they can't damage it at all. But they distracted the Hellbeast long enough for Arata to open the lock, which allows Nokia to log out. Arata logs out next, and he tells Totina to hurry after him so that she can get away. And she does not get away. The Hellbeast shoots forth the tentacles and grabs her before she can log out. She goes unconscious, and a creepy digital voice says, "Find us." Then Totina's Digivice says that there's a problem with logging out, and then that logout has been canceled. And then it also says that the logout was successful. Turns out logging out and not logging out at the same time is a bad idea, and Totina comes to in the middle of Shinjuku in a glowing blue digital mess. Everyone is weirded out by this, and they're gathered around to gawk at the shiny blue girl. And then disaster lesbian detective inspector Makiko Date shows up to break up the commotion. And she is absolutely freaked out at the sight of Totina, and she says that she's going to arrest her, but then a knockout blonde who is technically wearing clothes does an Akira in her car and tells Totina to hop in.
I don't know what you mean. She's totally dressed normally. I need to. I'm gonna wear that look out sometime.
Yeah. Spellbind by her side boob, Totina agrees and hops in the car. Boob Lady says that she's used to some weird shit, but Totina is the weirdest shit that she's ever seen. She says that she was just in the neighborhood looking for something when she came across Totina and felt compelled to help out. She's taking us back to her agency so she can help us out. She introduces us as Kyoko Kuremi of the Kuremi Detective Agency, and she says that our body seems to be in a, quote, extreme digital state, as if it were a digital avatar somehow thrust into the real world. Which, big if true. Kyoko asks Totina if where she came to in Shinjuku is the same place that she logged into Eden, and Totina says that it's not even close. Which Kyoko thinks probably means that our real body is still out there somewhere, or that our body was teleported to Shinjuku and turned into a digital mess. Or something. Who can say? We need to get more information, which, thankfully, a cyber sleuth is really good at. Kyoko takes our case and says that the first order of business is to stabilize our body, because glowing digital mass isn't really the fashion this season. She says that since our body is comprised of data right now, it's likely built out of an Eden avatar. So we should be able to use Eden avatar parts to repair our body, and we should be able to find some in Kowloon, which doesn't make any goddamn sense, but whatever, baby, it's Digimon. But Kyoko wonders, would we even be able to log into Eden in our current state? A strange voice calls out to Totina to jack in Totina.exe transmit into the TV. So Totina raises her hand to touch the TV and is sucked into a digital wormhole. On the other side of the wormhole, Totina arrives in the community area of Eden, and the wormhole closes behind her. Kyoko calls Totina and is like, "What the fuck was that?" And then concludes that our half-cyber body could follow the network lines through her terminal and show up in Eden on the other side. But since she's there, Totina should head to Kowloon and search for avatar parts. But the strange voice again calls out to Totina and tells her to instead come to the Digilab. This voice is Mirai Mikagura, and the Digilab is the place that she was standing in the opening. Mirai says that the Digilab is an interface between our world and the digital world. Totina asks what the digital world is, and Mirai says, "Don't worry, it's not going to be in this game, surprisingly." She says that she didn't call Totina, but rather Totina's strong attachment to her Digimon called Mirai. The Digilab is the Pokemon Center of this game, and Mirai tutorializes all of the functions, which by I mean each one gets a single text box that woefully underprepares you for how Digifarm training works. I won't go into super detail, but basically, Digivolving and devolving your Digimon increases their ABI stat, which then increases the amount of extra stats that you can give your Digimon, and you give them extra stats by training at the Digifarm. This takes real world hours that you have to have the game running to do, which is a very weird choice. So the ideal way to train your Digimon is to have two teams, so you can play the game with one team while the other team works out, and then when they're as buff as they can be, you swap teams and keep this up the whole game, so when you're at the end of the game, you have several Digimon to choose from to tackle the hard fights. I bring this up now because what happens for every person who just plays this game blind is they hit a wall 40 hours in and they're like, "What do you mean I need to have my defense at blah 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 to be able to digivolve? How do I increase my defense?" And they look up a guide and they're like, "Well, fuck that, I'm going to leave my game on overnight." And I don't want you to have to do that. Also, as an aside, the cam stat, which is short for camaraderie, is gained by using them in battle or feeding them on the Digifarm. So the drawback of doing the fastest, strongest training is negligible. So never do the slow ones. Just use the hard one and then fight them in 5 battles and you'll be fine. Also important in the Digilab is the Digibank, where you can digivolve your Digimon as well as convert the Digimon that you've scanned and also eat the unwanted Digimon and turn them into EXP. After all this tutorial, Mirai gives us hacking skills, which are basically the HMs of this game, which we unlock by having certain combinations of Digimon in our active party at once. She sends Totina to Kowloon, where she uses her new hacker skills to open up the firewall from before and can travel around Kowloon looking for avatar parts to get her body back. Kyoko calls Totina and is surprised and intrigued that she met Mirai, and cryptically says, "For there to have been a natural progression where Totina can meet her." And then she gets back to business and marks where Totina can find the avatar parts. She also agrees that this video chat could have been an email and takes the conversation to Digiline, which is the text messaging app in this game where you can talk to NPCs, but most importantly, your Digimon who are on the Digifarm.
It's so fun. They're just like, "Hey, I had this dream. What do you think about it?" You're like, "Oh, that's so cool, dude."
It's so good. Getting all of the avatar parts, each starts a tutorial battle that tutorializes various intricacies of the battle system, eventually ending up with Totina getting her body back. Kyoko says to attempt logging out of Eden regularly, and she has no idea what will happen, but worst case, she'll just scrape our digital remnants off the information superhighway and everything will be fine. Thankfully, things don't go wrong, and we make it back to Kyoko's office in one piece, but still with a digital body. Kyoko is visited by a grizzled detective, Matayoshi, who is an old friend and an expert on cybercrime. She introduces him to Totina, and he says that he's heard an interesting rumor about Eden syndrome that he'd like to tell her. Eden syndrome is .hack disease, and while it's rare, there's no known treatment, so the victims are stacking up. There's a special ward at the Central Hospital for Eden syndrome patients that, peculiarly, even the patients' families aren't allowed to enter. Rumor has it that the hospital is under Kamishiro Enterprises' control and that they are concealing something to save Kamishiro's image. But it's just a rumor, so him and the police can't do anything about it, but the hospital is beefing up security for the Eden ward, which is very suspicious, so he's sharing it with Kyoko so she can maybe do some snooping and figure something out. Kyoko asks Matayoshi if he wants any coffee, and he says that he would love to, but he has to jet. And on the way out, he warns Totina not to drink the coffee. He loves coffee, but weird colors and chunks are not what he likes about coffee. Kyoko reckons that the uptick in Eden syndrome patients, the increase in acuity, and Totina's body being fucked up are all related, so she asks Totina to join her at the hospital to see if they can get any information. At the hospital, Totina sees a cute goth girl in the lobby and fails at flirting with her, so the goth girl disappears into the elevator. Totina uses the sleuthing mechanic to find out that the special wing is locked up tight, but that the nurses' station has a terminal connected with it so that they can communicate with the nurses inside the special wing. And Totina just so happens to be able to jack into network terminals and come out the other side, so she does that and ends up in the special ward. Kyoko tells Totina to gather any information she can and break as many laws as it takes to do so. On her way back to the computer office room, Totina sees that her own body is one of the Eden syndrome patients. And she just says, oh well. Totina finds that one of the computers in this top secret, highly secretive wing of the hospital is just unlocked with all of its files on the desktop. So she reads the files Eden syndrome, treatments for Eden syndrome, and association with Kamishiro Enterprises. They don't tell us anything that we don't already know, however, so she continues onward and runs into the goth cutie from the lobby. The goth cutie demands that Totina say what she's doing here, and when Totina says she's just a detective assistant, the girl says, ah, so Karimi must be, and then agrees to answer all of Totina's questions. Totina asks if there's a cure, but the girl says that there isn't one currently, and she knows of someone who's had Eden syndrome for 8 years, but surely he'll be fine and wake up someday. Right?
Holy shit.
Totina asks if she knows anything about the conspiracy that Kamishiro is up to, and the girl says that the conspiracy is total bollocks, and that Kamishiro has built the special ward and has specialists working around the clock to find a cure, because why would they want anyone using their product to end up in a coma or dead? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Kamishiro is trying to help everybody. Kyoko calls and tells Totina to hide because someone's coming. The goth girl recognizes the voice of the newcomer as Rie Kishibe, who is, to put it lightly, a lot. Kyoko recognizes Rie as a bigwig with Kamishiro and wonders why that she would be there, and tells Totina to get out of there and meet her in the lobby. The goth girl tells Totina to hide, and Totina ducks into the computer room, and Rie comes into the hallway. She addresses the girl as Yuko, and Yuko asks why Rie is here, and Rie says that she just wants to visit her darling Yuko-chan, and asks why Yuko is big armsing blocking the computer room so that she can't go in. Is it that she has a boyfriend hiding in there? Or maybe a girlfriend? Or maybe yet something even more scandalous? Rie pushes past Yuko to enter the computer room, where Totina is nowhere to be seen. Rie is disappointed and tells Yuko that she's free to bring a boyfriend or girlfriend or 2 or a dozen. She won't care. But since Rie's here, she and Yuko should go visit him and see how he's doing. He'll be glad to see both of them together. Yuko and Rie head out, and we join Totina inside the network that she jacked into to hide. Totina exits the nurse's station terminal, meets up with Kyoko, and they return to the agency to debrief. None of the other Eden syndrome patients have had this half-cyber body symptom, but knowing for sure that this is Eden syndrome is at least progress of some sort. Kyoko offers Totina a position as assistant detective so that they can work together to restore her body and to get to the bottom of what's happening with Kamishiro. Totina accepts, and Kyoko makes seaweed and red bean paste coffee to celebrate. Will Totina survive this nasty concoction? Will she get her body back? Will she and Yuko live happily ever after? Find out next time on Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth.
I love this game.
This game is pretty great.
Yeah.
So immediately I do want to say something that you brought up one benefit to digivolving and de-digivolving. The other one that is also important is that it raises the level cap. Every time you de-digivolve, it raises your level cap, which is important because if you don't do that, you're not going to be able to digivolve very far. And I love that because, so Bernard, the whole being able to de-digivolve is, a thing in all the animes and stuff. And it was always the thing I wondered in a video game, how you could do that and not make it feel shit. And I love this, because in the anime, it's like, oh yeah, they're always at this stage, but then they'll digivolve up to their thing for a big fight, and then they'll just go back afterwards. And I was always like, and it's like, oh, yes, here I am going to be constantly doing this, and I can look into the future and be like, yeah, no, at some point, we'll get far enough in the game, and rather than being at Rookie and digivolving to Champion and back to rookie later again, over and over again. I'm going to be going, champion will be my base form eventually, and I'll be digivolving up to ultimate, and then back down, and then up, and then down, as I'm getting it high enough to maybe go farther. And I'm like, that's just so cool. I love it. Also lets you try out a bunch of different Digivolutions, because this is a huge branching tree of shit you can turn into.
Yeah, every single Digimon, except for some of the DLCs that don't Digivolve at all, are connected on the tree. And therefore, if you hate your starter and you want one of the other ones, it's not that hard to get to the other one. You just have to go up usually to champion, and then you can devolve to a different tree and then get to the one that you want, which is very important for me because I'm playing the Digidestined Edition mod, which is a mod where you can only have one Digimon, and scanning has been completely disabled. So my starter, Glitch Tamamon, is a very shitty Digimon that caps out at level 10, but he can then Digivolve into any of the in-training Digimon, basically allowing me to pick my own starter. Since I only have one, the mod makes it where you can start with one that you actually like. So my first rookie Digimon was Shoutmon, but only for a bit because he can't Digivolve until the in-game DLC quests. And then I switched back and forth and did most of this episode with a Hackmon, but I now have a Lunamon from Digimon Dawn and Dusk. The game also still gives you all of the DLC content for free from the lady outside of the detective agency, and you normally get some overpowered NX Digimon, but the mod nerfs them and makes them only have one in each stat and be unable to level. So they can be used in the Digifarm to develop items, and you can swap them for your partners so that your partner can train in the Digifarm, etc. But that sucks a little because you have to wait 30 real-world minutes for a training session, and since they only have one in each stat, you literally can't play the game for those 30 minutes or you'll die instantly. So you sit there for 30 minutes with the music all the way down and the sound all the way up while you're watching TV. And whenever you hear the click that you get that your stuff is ready, you go, you do it. And it's stupid, but I'm very surprised the mod didn't do something to fix that. So the mod apparently has been rebalanced to make farming pretty unnecessary. So I don't feel compelled to do it, is what I wrote in my notes. I have spent the last 2 days Digifarming a lot because I want to play more of this game and I can't until we finish recording today. A side effect of this mod is that it lets you play as Rena from Digimon Redigitized Decode for the 3DS, which is very cool, but graphically hilarious because in the FMVs, she's Totina and has a very small subset of animations because she's only in this game for like 1 or 2 optional quests at the end. So she doesn't have enough animations to do all of the responses, and they also don't loop properly. So everything looks super weird and will often just be in a T-pose in the background while everything's happening. And it's very funny, but funny is fun.
My team currently is a Renamon, Hawkmon, and Patamon. Patamon is only a Patamon right now. I'm going to poke around and Digivolve and Digivolve until I can get this little squishy motherfucker into Godomon, because I want Angelomon.
Yeah.
I want all the Pokemon that are hot lady or Digimon that are hot ladies.
I don't fucking know what my team is. It's Terriermon and some fucking blobs.
Yeah, the start, like the very beginning ones are all kind of blobs.
Yeah. It takes a while before they're very cool. And the branching nature of the Digimon evolution tree doesn't happen until after Rookie. So you have this blob who can only Digivolve into this other still a blob until you can finally Digivolve at Rookie and have interesting Digimon. So you're blobbing it up for a bit.
So you know how there's that character who's like the pale boy or the ghost or whatever the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the first area, there's an NPC. If you talk to him, he says, if you ask around, you'll hear stories about the, quote, white boy,
yes!
unquote.
Yes! It's so good.
I thought that was pretty funny.
It's pretty funny.
In that same area, there's a family with a mom and dad and a kid, and the dad is like, "Yeah, go ahead and run around, get your energy out." And then the mom is like, "I mean, we're playing a video game, so he doesn't actually get his energy out, but it's good image training, I guess," which is so weird.
So Sam brought up that great girl, the little girlfriend's line that is there, which is fun to have referenced a little bit. But important to note, that's not the only gay in this game, because it doesn't matter what your character's gender is. Either way, two of the girls in this game are apparently going to be very flirty, including specifically Nokia is one of them, who we've already spent a lot of time with. And yeah, so you just get a lot of being a girl and flirting with girls and girls flirting with you, and it's great. I love it.
It's very good.
When Nokia was all, "Oh man, I'm scared," I was like, aren't Nokias famously indestructible?
There's a mod where it replaces Nokia with the Nokia phone. It makes me really happy.
I really like Nokia. I like so much of the cast. I like Mirai. I like Nokia. I like Kyoko. Her design, her design is a bit ridiculous, but
absolutely.
But it's kind of ridiculous in a really fun way. And also, she's just a fun, I enjoy her as just a fun character.
Yeah, she's constantly making references that Jotina absolutely does not understand, and I love it. Like Kyoko has the same soul as me, where she's making references and jokes that nobody understands because it's not for them, it's for her. And I love that about her.
I like how when Agumon and the other one are prancing around Nokia and she's freaking the fuck out, they say something and she goes, it can talk, it's so adorable.
Yes,
and she still has her freaking out animation, like she's scared, and it's so good. I love it.
She goes from oh no to these are my children and I will die for them so quickly, and I love it.
I mean, they are cute.
Listen, Gabumon and Agumon, Gabumon especially, very cute.
Agumon's just sort of a dude.
Yeah.
I need to send you, because I just threw names at you that don't mean anything to you. I need to send to you what a Renamon looks like. Because, Bernard, it is so funny. All the other, usually all of the things at the same stage look like babies, look like the baby Digimon. They look like weird little squishy blobs. The next stage up, they have a little more definition. The rookie stage, like your starter, it's that's a defined thing, but they're all little dudes who are 3 feet tall. Except for Renamon. Renamon, who is a human height fucking fox woman.
Yeah,
she was one of the starter Digimon for one of the main characters in Tamers, the 3rd season, and it is not an understatement to say that that Renamon had a similar effect on our generation that furry Robin Hood did on a couple generations back before us.
So you mentioned the animation when she was freaking out about them running around her. This game does a weird choice with its presentation that I love, actually. So all of the cutscenes are visual novel cutscenes, but they can move the 3D characters in 3D space to there's one where Yuko's walking away, and so it puts Totina in the distance behind her, and this happens over a translucent, blurry version of something happening in the real world, so that they don't have to animate an entire scene, just the characters, because this game was made for $6, and it is so obviously a budget decision, but also very good, actually, and I like it.
I find it very weird how the protagonist has lots of internal monologue but no external dialogue.
Yeah, it's the weirdest version of the protagonist disease ever. They get to say 2 things in the opening cutscene, and then a whole bunch of things if they're by themselves. But the moment another character's there, they don't say anything.
She's shy. Don't bully her. Also, though, so you brought up the thing about how I didn't realize that there was training. I haven't done a lot with the farm because, again, the game doesn't tutorialize on it. You had to tell me how the farm shit works. So I've barely touched that. But I didn't realize there were things you can have them do training that would lower their camaraderie. And that makes me, I need to ask you, if you get their camaraderie low enough, can they digivolve into the poop Digimon?
Unfortunately, no. But the poop Digimons are in this game. They're just in like the virus type tree. So
Okay. So, Bernard,
Yeah.
for what we're referencing, a thing, because again, this all started as Tomodachi's. If you didn't take care of your Digimon, you just were a really dog shit fucking owner for your Digimon, they would digivolve into a Digimon that is basically just a pile of pink poo.
yellow,
Nice.
officially.
You're right, yellow. Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the pink poo is the actual Digimon poop.
You're right. And it's very funny. There's also other cases where there are there any Digimon Digievolutions that are locked by low camaraderie?
No, I don't think there are anything that are locked by low, but there are ones that are locked by being high enough.
Okay. Well, I mean that was.
Yeah.
I am only thinking because I'm thinking of like Skull Greymon or something, which was literally
Yeah.
a whole thing in the show that was like you gotta be nice to your Digimon or else they might be evil or whatever.
Yeah, the vibe that they do in this game for that will be like Metal Greymon, the one that you want, will need high camaraderie, high, I think it's defense stat, and a couple other things. And then the Skull Greymon will just need to be level 25. So it's like if you aren't going to the farm and taking care of your Digimon and feeding them after you train them to get their shit back up or whatever, the only one available to you will be the shitty evolutions. And all the good ones require you to put effort in. So same vibes, but not in a punishing sort of way.
Okay.
Man, whenever y'all talk about the mechanics of this game, my brain turn off.
Yeah, you honestly can just vibes with it. But there will be a point where it starts to get hard because it will have expected you to be doing the Digifarm. So just every time Mireille texts you that your farming is completed, go back in there and start it up again, and you'll be good enough. Just keep Digimon in the Digifarm, and they'll get higher stats just because that's how it works. That's as much as you have to deal with it if you're not looking for specific ones. If you're happy with the poop guys and you don't have to have the cool ones from the anime that you haven't watched, then you can just
I mean, I don't know who these people are, so I don't need to try and find specific ones.
Yeah.
I'll digivolve something ugly and shitty and I'll be like, "Oh man, that's my favorite Digimon because I don't know any better."
Yeah. But yeah, this I forgot all of the details about this game because it had been forcefully ejected to make room for all of Time Stranger's mechanics, and there's a lot of stuff that's really cool here. Also, everything Time Stranger did to change it is better, and it's making me want to do a self-imposed, because I have it on PS5. I can't put in a mod. A self-imposed version of this one Digimon challenge run for Time Stranger. But if you like what you heard today, you can head on over to www.rpgbook.club, where any and all donations will help us offset the cost of running the show. If you decide to donate $1 or more a month, you'll become one of our gadabouts and get access to our bonus feed filled with after shows for every episode, as well as bonus seasons of the show, such as Tales of Podcastia and the Escape Pod. The JRPG canon, the backlog episodes will all be on the bonus feed, but we're bringing it back and we're doing it weird, and it might be our first video content for the podcast. We haven't recorded the first one yet. If the video sucks, it won't be, but we're changing things up, and so that one will be more available than the backer feed. But more on that as it develops, and I'm saying it on the podcast because I have made due dates for it so that it doesn't become a year in between episodes again. So keep your eyes peeled for the new evolution, the new Digivolution of the JRPG canon.
Hopefully it doesn't digivolve.
It might. The JRPG canon has had so many different versions. If you up your donation to $5 or more each month, you can become one of our warriors and also get your name read at the end of every episode, a little like this. Shoutouts to Dragon Slayer 19, Freddy Rodriguez, and Jfro Prime. And then if you really, really love us and you want to be one of our luminaries, you can donate $20 or more each month and get a short one-sentence shout-out or advert read at the end of each episode, a little like this. Shoutouts to El Tantavi, who wants you to check out Aftermath.site, a worker-owned, reader-supported news site covering video games, the internet, and the cultures that surround them. Shoutouts to Keldronis, who says to check out Podcasters Assemble. It's a documentary-style, crowdsourced, movie hype and rewatch podcast. Every season, podcasters from around the world are assembled to review, reminisce, and riff on a popular franchise. Shoutouts to Vimke, who says, it was a very perfect moment. And shoutouts to It's Clear Time, who says, for you TTRPG nerds, check out Fabula Ultima. I'm not affiliated with the game, I just think it's neat. For RPG Book Club, I've been Sam.
I'm Bernard.
And I'm Trish.
Toodaloo, folks.
Bye-bye.